Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to HOI4 as we're playing as Germany. So the first thing we're going to do in today's episode is get our naval and air doctrines. We'll be starting with the convoy interdiction, so improving our submarines, since that'll be the focus of our navy in this campaign, and then we're also going to get the dive bombing. So spend that experience that we have. So we're waiting to get a bit more political power, and I think we're going to shoot for an, I would say early war, but it's not really going to be early, it'll be 1939 at that point. Go after Denmark. We just don't have enough political power. I think we need 59 in order to start working on a war goal. And we're going after them because when it comes to our focus tree and getting war goals, they're pretty far down our political branch. So they're all the way over here. And so we got to get a lot of focuses before we get the war goal through the focus tree. And it should be a nice, quick, easy war as well. We'll take a look at our troops that we have assigned there once we're able to start working on the war goal, because again, it's going to be a while before we are able to invade them. We did get the rubber processing. I think it's going to take like well over 200 days in order to get the war goal done. Next, we're going to work on the medium tanks so we can start building those. And we'll be using our medium tank designer, getting them some funding. The Dominion of Canada seeks immediate patriation. We got our Air Force Department, so next we'll do the Navy Department. And I think this is regarding Finland. So I haven't been concerned about the troops up there because I wanted to make sure that we got this war goal started as soon as we were able to. And I know if we went and started managing our troops up there, I would probably forget. So it's almost 300 days, guys, in order to get that war goal. So quite a long time. So get these two areas here taken. We should also make sure that we have a front line here. I highly doubt we're going to be able to push through here. We'll have to see. It's very rough terrain, and I didn't know we were going to be fighting in Norway, or I would have brought more infantry, or specifically more leg infantry. Because the tanks and the motorized are not going to do well here in the mountains of the north. We got the advanced Panzer research focus completed. That actually gave us that research bonus. You know, I don't think it was applying because it said 160 something days still. But now that we've taken it off and added it back on, now it's 91 days. So we better get that tech done much quicker. We're going to get this focus next, which will grant us some army experience, reduction for 1 land doctrine. We also get some initiative. We get a new chief of army, though we probably won't be using him. And then also 2 of our generals will be promoted to field marshals. So that was one reason I didn't bother promoting any generals to field marshals, despite the fact that we only had 1, as I knew we had a focus that would promote 2 of our generals. We're going to get the production output bonus here. So once we start building medium tanks, we'll do that a little bit faster. Alright, so we just need to get these troops over here, though supply is likely going to be an issue. So I don't know how well our own attacks would go. It seems we have another trait for an MIO. This is for our fast tanks designer. We're going to increase their speed by a bit more. Make sure we upgrade those 2 lines as well. So this is just because we're getting ready to attack Denmark. I say getting ready, but again, it's going to be a while. If we took a look at the exact date, it's going to be December of this year. So quite a while before we'll actually be able to do that invasion. It'll also be winter at that time. So obviously not the best time to do the invasion, but hopefully they shouldn't be too difficult to defeat. So we do need to get the improved radio. We also need to get the passive bonuses here. And then there's one thing in the air tax I want to get, and that's the range improvements. So we can get the extra fuel tanks and the drop tanks. So those are all the things we're going to be working here in 1938. But before we do any of those, we'll get the last of the armor techs, the improved armor protection. Make sure that we have, let's invest in the medium tank designer a bit more. Yeah, make sure that we have everything we might need for those designs. So saying that we have these 2 outdated equipment, that's because we improved them with the changes to the MIO. So just increasing their speed a bit. So So yeah, we can see if we could get a win here if we can ever get off the defense. Probably attack them since they're the ones launching the attacks. Okay, it looks like we might be able to push forward here. A little surprised. Oh, okay, there we go. Now it's in the red. Because yeah, I was going to say, with these units here, you wouldn't think they'd have much success. Plus you can see we're lacking supply here. So it's going to be tough going in this area. Probably only going to sit on defense. So what we might want to do is remove these 2 units. We'll see once we get the infantry there if we have a better chance of pushing forward, but if not, then yeah, we'll just sit on the defense there. I don't really care about helping them out in this area, and of course, once we go to war with Denmark, our volunteers are going to be pulled back anyways. So let's go and get another agency upgrade, and we'll probably start working on passive defense after we get the invisible ink. So we'll get that first. I suppose we need to get the ones to protect our own cipher. Take a look at Austria, see how we're doing on getting that intel. UK is revisiting their colonial policy as we expected. So 11 to 16 divisions, but we're still pretty low at just 49%. So we don't have an exact number there. I got another trait for the artillery manufacturer, and we're going to get the 10% increase to breakthrough. And we'll upgrade that now, which does mean we'll need to upgrade them in here. Those only for the anti-tanks, so I don't think the artillery is using that yet. This is where it's going to be the most helpful, is for them. Now with the anti-air, I don't think it's worth it. They don't really have a lot of breakthrough anyways, so we won't even bother upgrading those, adding the MIO to them. So yeah, I think we're going to pull back the tanks and the motorized, since supply is such an issue there. Let's go ahead and get another focus selected first. So we could continue down with the military branch, as this focus will allow us to get the mechanized 1 year earlier, so 1939. But we're still only in 38, pretty early in 38 as well. So I don't think we're going to get that just yet. Not going to get this one either. I think we will get the Panzer Troop School, because that's a 35-day focus. Gives us some more generals, some more experience. Some doctrine bonuses as well. And then also, we'll have a reduction of organization loss when moving. So the tank is already moving over here, and what we're going to do is just send them down to this area, where they won't be facing any supply issues. So both of those guys will get out of there, have them retreat, and then we'll leave the infantry here to just help out, so that this province doesn't get taken. We'll try and attack here with the infantry if we can, but yeah, it looks like that would not be a success. And I'm not really worried about helping Finland out here. It's just a terrible location. If we were actually in the war, we'd probably want to do a naval invasion behind them instead. That'd clearly be the better way to go. We can go ahead and get a land doctrine since we have those nice reduction modifiers there. However, I don't think we're going to, because I want to save the experience for the paratroopers here and also for the medium tanks. We're going to need those both to design their division, but also to design the actual tanks. So having a good little chunk of army experience would be helpful. So next, let's go and get those drop tanks, and that's the main thing I'm getting this for. As while the extra fuel tanks is helpful, it does reduce the defense, while the drop tanks don't. They're just increasing the weight, obviously not getting as much range. And I suppose we should give the funding to Messerschmitt. We've completed the invisible ink. So let's go and start working on the passive defense now. Although, let's get the cryptology, and then we'll do the passive defense. Both of them are for our intel defenses, but in different ways. So next we need to spend some of that army experience on our paratroopers. Because we're going to be using these so heavily in this campaign, I want them to be fairly robust. So I'm thinking a combat width of 20. So I get this to 14. There we go. Now we're at 20 combat width. Obviously don't want to put anything else in there besides paratroopers, or else they won't be able to do their paradrops anymore. As for the support companies, gotta get the engineer companies. The only one of the support companies we can't use is the assault engineer company. Those cannot be airdropped. So it appears that's all we have the experience for. Still need to get the other 4 support companies. I want to make sure we had all the battalions in here though, so we'd know how many of those we could train before we hit the special forces limit. So it looks like we can do a total of 4. So we'll get all 4 of those. Heading into Berlin and the training army once they're done. We're not going to train any more infantry units, guys. I'm just going to deploy what we have here, because we are so short on equipment. The only thing we have is infantry equipment at the moment, and even that, we only have 4,000. So we really need to fix our equipment shortages. We got the improved engine for the tanks, so now let's work on those passive modifiers for our infantry. So get the improved infantry equipment, and then after that we'll get the support bonuses. So we'll take a look over here. This is for our paratroopers, by the way. We could spend the experience to improve them, but we'll wait to do that. I think it would be more useful to use our air experience on our Air Force. Swedish National Socialist requests intervention. Representatives from the leading National Socialist Party in Sevilla Reich have approached us with an opportunity. They are in the process of overthrowing their current government and have appealed to us for support in their attempt. In exchange for military support, they have agreed to place the country firmly in our sphere of influence. So we could just go with this option, give them manpower and some infantry equipment, but obviously we do want to support them. So we're going to agree to the proposal. They'll become our puppet. So it seems we cannot simply join their war because the world tension's not high enough, but they should call us into it. And if they don't, we can always just straight up declare war here. So let me see if they call us. It'd probably just be better to join. Do have a decision available here. This is regarding Sweden, which we don't need to do that right now. We're probably going to send them these 10 units here, and we'll just join through the traditional means. First, let's go in and get our focus completed. So we'll get that done. And next we're going to bribe senior officers. This is a 35-day focus. Unlock some other good ones. You don't really get much from that particular focus, but there are some good ones in that branch. Alright, so let's go ahead and join their conflict so that we can help them get this done quickly. So we're going to want to go across there, but obviously we need to get control of the seas first. So we'll start by managing our submarine fleet, where we'll have Carl Donitz in charge. He's our only Sea Wolf. And then we're going to get him the Silent Hunter trait in order to try and keep our subs from being revealed and thus keep them alive longer. Against the Lancer one, this is pretty helpful, but we're going to go with the Silent Hunter in this particular case. And then let's also go for the 10% torpedo hit chance. Looks like we can get both of these. I didn't know he had that many traits available, so we'll get that too, decreasing the cooldown for the torpedoes. So we want to get these two out here doing the convoy raiding all throughout this area here, the Baltic. We're also going to change the colors of the fleets to red and blue. Need to get a commander for this fleet, and I think we're going to use Rolf Karls just because he has such good bonuses for the capital ships. Obviously, if we're going to use our capital ships for raiding, then he's probably not the best choice, and that's largely because he has this penalty to the retreat decision chance. But for right now, he'll be fine. Eventually, we'll want to change up the fleets quite a bit. For instance, we'll probably put the mining task force into its own fleet. Maybe give it to, I know we have a Craven. Give it to a Craven, and then give him the Minecraft trait. I don't know. We'll see what we want to do, but for now, we're just going to put Rolf Karls in charge of all 3 of these task force. And we're going to give him Big Guns Expert. And let's get the safety first. It takes so long to repair those critical hits. And then with the additional traits, probably do the Marksman, so we have a higher chance to score critical hits. So let's go ahead and assign him, and then we'll put this task force on the patrol mission. This task force will be the strike force, so it's the light cruisers and all of our capital ships. And then we'll try and do as much mine laying as we can in this area, since those mines will persist for future conflicts. Now we need to assign our planes. I think we got the 1 naval bomber wing, so move those over here to provide us a bit of naval strike support. I don't know if we have any more in our stockpile. If we do, it's probably not enough for an air wing. Looks like we got 67. Okay, then what we'll do is we'll have those 67 go over here to provide support in this area. And then we're going to want to bring our fighters and close air support. So we got some fighters over here. They'll help out with air superiority. We'll also want to bring one air wing of fighters, I guess these older ones, to help out with, you know, we'll do the air superiority. So it's going to look something like this. So we can see that we've already engaged their fleet here. We need to turn that down just a notch since we're in a conflict. So our strike force has arrived. We've already sunk 4 of the heavy cruisers and 8 of their destroyers. So it'll be a good victory for our fleet. We do need to now move across since it seems like we have control of the seas. So we can get over here and help them out. So I did have to get off for a couple hours, stop the recording because I had to go pick my kids up. So let's see if I can remember where we were at here. So we're bringing our troops into the sport. Still need to assign a general for them. So let's go ahead and assign Wittelsband. He's an infantry officer, also a career officer, and got pretty good stats. And we also need a field marshal for this army. We now have 3 choices. Probably not going to go with Blomberg since he is more defensive minded. You know what? Let's go with Von Kluge. Put him in place and then get him some traits. Gonna be focusing on the more offensive bonuses. So I'll get him aggressive assaulter and offensive doctrine. And then the last one we're gonna get here is the charismatic for the division recovery rate. So he's a pretty good field marshal. So I think that's it. I did want to take a look at this sea battle here. So yeah, it's just the 4 heavy cruisers and the 8 destroyers that we sunk there. We can also invite Finland over to our faction. So doing that will allow us to attack Norway. So yeah, sure. Let's go ahead and do that to give us another war. So that means we might need to send some additional troops since we'll be fighting not just in this little area. Well, it looks like these guys got engaged, unfortunately. But yeah, not just this area, little area of southern Sweden, but also in Norway. And yeah, we will accept their call to arms. Our volunteer forces have returned home. We also had another naval battle over here where we sunk those 3 submarines. So yeah, let's go ahead and have, oh, these guys got cut off. So we're gonna have this unit here attack. And I was gonna have this unit support, but they're too weak, so we'll have this unit do it instead. Because we need to help liberate this one unit that got cut off. And then if we could also win right here, then we can cut off those guys. So let's have both of these units here attack. So we just got the government cipher school. So let's get the next level of that. We do have all these notifications up at the top. Seems that we are lacking tungsten. So we'll trade for that. I just where we already trading for tungsten, but apparently not. Let's trade with Sweden. This gets us 20. So far more than we need, but it'll be helpful as we get more military factories. We should probably also trade for some oil because we are running a bit low. We got 47 days left of fuel now that we have our fleet and our planes out there. I suppose we'll trade with Iran. We'll be able to do that long term, but for right now, it doesn't require any convoys. So we'll get not that much, maybe 2 factories worth. We'll see how much that'll impact our total fuel. Let's do 1 more factory. That should be good enough to hold us off in this conflict. Alright, so we did win there. Let's have this unit here attack this way. We've got these troops cut off, so let's get them wiped out. If this is the first time you've watched any of my series before, you should know that I do manually control my divisions. Seems that civil war in Mexico is done. Let me take a look at who won that. So they're non-aligned. They do have a lot of fascist support at 35%, 29% democratic support. And Finland wants to join our war against Sweden, so we're going to go and accept that. I'm fine with them participating, helping out. Let's go and get these guys cut off. But yeah, I've always really enjoyed manually controlling my divisions in this game. I think it's the best way to play. And so I play a bit slower. It's a format that might not be for everybody. Those of you who prefer like the battle planning, where you just kind of let the AI take control and it goes much quicker, then obviously this might be a little bit slower paced. So we got the medium tanks. We could wait till we get the armor done before we design those, since it'll only be 2 more days. Also, I don't know if we're going to have enough experience to finish them either. And then I suppose we should focus on getting these nice passive bonuses since we're currently at war. You know what, let's really focus on the infantry weapons manufacture, getting them some nice bonuses. Yeah, we're going to advance over to that port and victory points. Have these guys, you know what, they'll come up behind them here. They'll grab that one, and then these guys can wipe out that unit. I feel like this is the only way that you can really effectively cut off troops. I suppose if you let the AI manually control like your infantry, your main line, and then you just control the tanks, then that works too. I know that's a way that a lot of people like to play. So we have all the text that we want from here until 1940. So let's go back to engineering and get that improved radio. We also got a trait for the medium tank designer. Let's go and increase their breakthrough next. Seems we had another trait. Okay, we had 2 traits. That's right, because I think we got one from the focus tree. So let's go ahead and give it to, you know, let's give it to breakthrough so that we'll get a 10% bonus. So we got these 3 divisions cut off, so now we just need to get them destroyed. We don't want to attack across the river there, so let's attack from here. Now this guy's too weak. He'll have that wrapped up. Let's make sure this guy finishes taking these 2 locations. It looks like the war with Sweden is already done. I'm not interested in taking any of the territory here, nor could we probably get it, since it'll be a lot cheaper for Sweden to take it. But I'm willing to take whatever fleet they have. Looks like it'll just be some screen ships. Probably would have helped to not have destroyed all their fleet. We could have taken it for ourselves. But we did get some naval experience from doing that. So I think that's it. I don't think there's going to be anything else that we want from them. So let's go and submit our demands here, and then go ahead and confirm an exit. So yeah, Sweden took over all that territory, and then we got... So it said it was screens that we got, but it was actually these 2 level 1 submarines. So let's place them in this fleet here. We don't need to cover the Gulf anymore. Instead, we'll want to cover the Norwegian coast here. Just block off all their ports. I don't think we'll move this fleet any further though. Just won't have them cover that. I think this is fine for these guys. And we'll continue to mine this up as well. We currently have 43 mines laying. We can get these level 2 submarines training up again. Suppose we could also use them for the convoy raiding. I don't know if they'll get much experience doing that though. So, you know, we'll just train them. Have them do the naval exercises. I think that's it for the fleet. We do need to move our planes now, although we're really not going to have the range to be very effective in this area. But we will try our best. So yeah, we'll move all these planes a bit closer. Yeah, some of them couldn't even do it, as the range is too low. Some of those old fighters, I think. Alright, so we'll get some assistance, and then we should also move our troops over there. So we're not going to fight across the whole thing. I think it'd be good to take this location because it has the supply hub, and just cut off all the troops up here on the front with Finland from the rest of the country. So I might want to send some additional units. I don't think 10 is going to be enough. So it's going to take a few of the troops. I'll take these guys. These are the troops that are sitting around here. Do we have anybody who's done training? We do. So maybe get this up to... Hesitant to send too many units. due to supply issues. Let's just go with 14 for now, and we'll see how supply looks. I'm not sending any tanks either. It's not the best terrain. I suppose we could send these guys just to try and get this taken over quickly. If we just stayed in the southern part of the front, then it wouldn't be that bad. So you know what, let's send this army under Rommel. Although we could switch him out for Orion. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's unassign him. Since we're working on getting him some experience, get him up to level 5. And then what we'll do is we'll take that one motorized unit and bring him over there, and then just one of these tanks can stay here. So hopefully that doesn't exhaust the supply. I almost feel like we should take some of the infantry out. We'll see, guys. I mean, you know you're gonna lack supply up here. So I kept trying to attack into here, and the problem is that we haven't yet pulled Sweden into this conflict. So they're neutral. So this should allow us to now start pushing forward. So we'll take over that mountain province while it's undefended. And then also we're going to want to get behind these guys here. And we did finish up our focus, the bribe senior officers. Again, not a lot of great bonuses there. We got us some new generals. Allows us to continue down this branch where we have to choose between indoctrination or autonomy. I think we're gonna go with this one. I like the bonuses a bit better. I do like the division recovery rate that this one grants. It does promote another general to field marshal and gives them the offensive doctrine. And then 2 of our generals will be politically connected, which isn't really all that great unless you're trying to turn them into field marshals. Well, this one here gives you 2 more cost reductions for land doctrine, and then you'll get army experience faster, and also you get 5% division organization. Little bonus to the daily command power, but 3 of your generals just get experience, and then you get to pick which traits they get, or if you want to promote them or whatever. So I just like this option a little bit better, but you also have to look at the 2 focuses that they're tied to. They both grant a little bit of manpower, with this one here giving you about 5,000 more. And then with this option, you're getting the penal divisions. Unlocks limited recruitment penal divisions, and you'll start out with 3 of them. Well, this one instead gives you a nice land doctrine cost reduction of 15%, and it has some fantastic research bonuses. So I think this is clearly the better choice. They're all 35-day focuses. So let's go and start working on that. Since we had another naval battle over here, we lost 5 convoys. Okay, those were probably our troops that were crossing. Unfortunately, we do control the seas, but we got to deal with the Norwegian fleet. Alright, so let's go ahead and go after Oslo, the capital, and then push forward over here as well towards that victory point. So I want to get these troops all cut off here. So that's 2 divisions. Look across the front, see any other areas. You know, we don't want anybody assigned to that front. We'll let our allies deal with that. We're only focusing on taking this area. In fact, might not even have to worry about this at all, because the war will likely be done if we can just take over this territory, especially now that we have this victory point. It seems that we really are not going to need the tanks. They didn't get here quick enough, but we can still make use of them. So we'll make sure that, you know, let's take all of them here, with the exception of that one. Make sure they're assigned to that, and then this tank will do this attack here to get these troops wiped out. So they'll take care of that for us. And then let's go ahead and cut off these troops here, this cab unit. Alright, so there was a Stalinist victory in the Spanish Civil War. Carlos Spain was just defeated, so that's as we said it. So it happened the way we wanted. Although, one thing I did not think about, have this guy go along the coast, is that Stalin's no longer in power there. So I have to see what happens there. Hopefully they still, yeah, we just gotta hope that it still goes the way we want. Regarding the factions, the Allies are now a communist faction, and then of course you have the Fourth International. So we're clearly going to have to, seems that Spain has joined that faction. Alright, excellent, so that's good. But yeah, we're going to have to fix this. Either go through the consul, which you can't really force, to my knowledge, I don't think you can force people to join factions. It might be better to do an event where we disband the British faction and then have them join the Fourth International. So I'll have to get that set up, guys, so that we make sure that they're all in the same faction. Now, the fact that Norway has their own faction is irrelevant because they are going to be defeated. Got them defeated early. I expected that we would get some country, I wasn't sure which one, but that we'd get some country defeated earlier in the game, sometime around 38 or so. And of course, we're going to be going after Denmark. They are not in a faction, and remember, we had them do their monarchy route. So unfortunately, we are going to have to end today's episode here. We have the motorized going the quickest way. I'm going to go the quickest way over there, since they're our fastest unit. Tank unit can take care of all this. We'll have to do the peace treaty here in Norway in the next episode, guys. We can try and get these guys wiped out, since they are now cut off from supply. In fact, we'll have, I don't know if they can support, yeah, they don't border that. We can attack this guy here. And then we'd want this guy to go, yeah, we'll just have him go south next, after he takes over that province there. Alright, so this is the new capital we need to get to. Just taking a look at the current conflict, they are 68% towards capitulation. I don't think we need to defeat Iceland since they're not a major power, though I don't know, they do have the border here. But it states we only have to defeat the Norwegian People's Republic. We currently have 47% of the total war participation, and we've lost 7.2 thousand, compared to Norway's 15.7 thousand. So yeah, it's going pretty well so far. We do control the seas all the way around Norway. When it comes to skies, we do control those, and we need to move our planes and get them a bit closer. So we should be able to fit all of those there. You know, we can fit these guys too. Move them a bit closer so they can help us out and provide some bombing support. Before we end, I did want to note one thing. You might have noticed this missing equipment production. That is the armored support vehicles. I think that's a bug, because it's saying we don't have any that have the rabbit icon. However, for that particular type of equipment, which we do have all the medium stuff here, guys, which some of this has already been designed for us. We'll have to take a look at that next episode. We might not have to make that many adjustments. I was waiting to save up enough army experience since I was figuring it would take us a bit to get those designs, but if these are already partially designed and we only need to make some adjustments, then this is probably enough. So we'll have to do that next episode, but another reason to wait is that we're still building up military factories. We're very short on a lot of the different types of equipment, so adding another type of equipment we need to reduce when we already don't have all of this stuff isn't really going to help us out much. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys with the armored support vehicles, there's not really anything you can do here besides adjusting the armor, reliability, main guns, and engines. You can't assign them an icon. So I think that's just a bug, because if we took a look at the tanks, they are in fact using the armored support vehicles. You can see they're also getting those Panzer 1s replaced with the Panzer 2s. Yeah, I think that's just a bug, guys. And I don't know that we'll be able to dismiss this without missing, you know, the fact that we have other equipment that we're not reducing. Yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy today's episode. If you did, make sure you like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Do hope to see you on the next one. And thanks for watching.